You keep doing it again as if I don't even exist, she said, her voice devoid of tears, only ice. It came at the exact moment Mark stood at the sink, washing his hands after dinner while Liz, his wife of 23 years, sat at the kitchen table, clutching a cup of cold tea. The house was filled with that familiar silence they'd both learned to recognize. Not peace, but the pause before the storm. They didn't shout. They didn't throw dishes. They didn't slam doors. Their conflicts were quieter yet deeper, like cracks in the foundation of an old house. Intact on the outside, crumbling within. The argument had started over something trivial. Or rather, over something that used to be trivial. Liz had invited her sister Emily for Sunday lunch. Just to talk, see the kids, catch up. But when Mark heard about it over breakfast, he merely nodded and said, "Again," as if they were discussing an unwelcome intruder who stole food from their fridge every week. Liz stayed silent then. She swallowed the hurt, as she'd done hundreds of times before. But something inside her snapped. Now, in the kitchen under the dim light above the table, she finally voiced what had been building for years. "You don't just dislike my family. You treat them like an inconvenience. Like I'm an inconvenience. Like everything connected to me, except your own comfort, is just extra baggage." Mark dried his hands on a towel and slowly turned. His face was calm, but his eyes weren't. Something sharp, almost frightened, flickered in them. "That's unfair," he said. "I've never said that. You don't have to say it. You show it. Every time you go quiet, turn away. Look at my sister like she's a virus threatening your perfect order." "I don't have a perfect order, Liz. I have a job that demands focus. I have kids I'm responsible for. And your sister." He hesitated, then continued. "She doesn't think. She shows up whenever she wants, unannounced, with a list of demands. She came once in 2 months. And not with demands. She brought a pie for Sophia. Because she knew the girl was struggling after her friend's parents split up." "Exactly." Mark raised his voice, then immediately lowered it. "You always put her needs ahead of ours. You didn't even ask if I wanted to see her on Sunday. You just decided for both of us. Because I know you'd say no. You always say no. Even when it's something simple, a conversation, just being present." They fell silent. Outside, a car passed, its headlights briefly illuminating the kitchen. In that flash of light, Liz saw the exhaustion on her husband's face. Not irritation, not anger, but deep, genuine fatigue. "Do you think it's easy for me?" he asked quietly. "Waking up every day, going to a job where they expect everything but appreciate nothing? Where every move you make is under a microscope? Then coming home and still feeling like you're not where you're supposed to be? You're not there because you chose to be elsewhere." Liz stood and walked toward him. "You built a wall. Not me. Not Emily. You. And now you're surprised I feel alone in my own home." Mark looked down. He didn't know what to say because she was right. But truth is a dangerous thing. Especially when it's been piling up for years. Their marriage wasn't unhappy, at least not on the surface. They lived in a good neighborhood. In a house with a garden and 2 cars in the garage. They had 2 children, Sophia, 17, and Ben, 15. Both doing well in school, both respectful, both careful not to pry into their parents' affairs. Maybe because they'd learned too early. In this house, it's better not to ask too many questions. Liz worked as an architect. Mark was an engineer at a large firm. They'd met in college and married 2 years after graduation. Everything had gone according to plan: career, house, kids, vacations. But plans, it turned out, didn't account for human wear and tear. The first cracks appeared when Sophia was 10. Liz had taken a new, more demanding position. Mark supported her with words. But in practice, he began to withdraw. He started staying late at work more often, participating less in family matters. First, Liz thought it was stress. Then she thought he was just tired. But over time, it became clear. He wasn't just tired. He distanced himself. And her family had always been close. Her mother, father, 2 sisters, they called each other daily, gathered on weekends, supported one another through hardships. For Liz, that was normal. But for Mark, it wasn't. His parents had divorced when he was 13. His father left. His mother stayed alone. Ever since, Mark believed that family meant only what you built yourself. Everything else was extra, sometimes even harmful. He never said it outright, but Liz felt it. The day after the kitchen argument, everything seemed normal. Breakfast, getting ready, school, work. But tension hung between them like an invisible wall. At lunch, Liz received a message from Emily. "Hey, still on for Sunday?" She looked at the screen, then at Mark's photo in their family chat. Her finger hovered over the keyboard. She didn't reply. That evening, after the kids went out with friends, she sat on the living room sofa. Mark came in 10 minutes later, took off his jacket, and draped it over the armchair. "Did you cancel lunch?" he asked, not looking at her. "No," she answered. "But I didn't confirm either." He nodded. "Why?" "Because I'm tired of choosing between you and my family." Mark sat down across from her, not in his usual spot, but directly facing her. "I don't want you to choose," he said. "I want you to feel like your family is part of ours. But it's hard for me." "Why?" "Because I don't know how." It was the first honest admission in years. Liz looked at him, not as a source of irritation but as a person who was also afraid, also made mistakes, also trying. "You can learn," she said. "If you want to." "I do," he replied. "I just don't know where to start." Start small. Say hi to Emily when she comes. Listen to what she says. Don't assume she's trying to change anything in our home. She just wants to be close. "And if I mess up again?" "You will. And I'll tell you. But not like yesterday." He smiled faintly but genuinely. "Thank you." Sunday turned out sunny. Emily arrived with a pie and a bouquet of wildflowers. Mark opened the door. "Hi," he said. "Come in." She was surprised, not offended, not cold, just surprised. "Hi, Mark." He took the pie from her. "Liz said you baked it yourself?" "Yeah, apple." "Sophia loves apples." Emily smiled. "I remember." In the living room, Liz watched them from behind the door. Her heart beat faster than usual. At lunch, Mark didn't stay silent. He asked Emily about her job, her kids, even made a joke, awkward, but he tried. Later, after their guest left, Sophia approached her father. "You were different today," she said. "Good or bad?" "Good." He put a hand on her shoulder. "Trying." Weeks passed. The arguments didn't vanish completely. They still argued, still hurt each other. But now something new had emerged between them, an effort to understand. One night, lying in bed, Liz asked, "Have you ever thought we wouldn't make it?" Mark was quiet for a moment. "Every day. But then I remember you're still here. And that gives me hope." She took his hand. "Me too." Outside it was raining. But inside the house it was warm.